From one industrial action, now to another, and this time in the most sensitive sector. Doctors down tools across Nigeria, leaving patients at their mercy. The National Association of Resident Doctors have threatened to down tools in June this year, except the federal government meets their demands. The doctors also referred the Minister of Health, Isaac Adewale, a former health minister, Dr. Onyebuchi Chukwu, for sanction for carrying out activities and actions inimical to welfare and progress of the association. In a communique at the end of the National Executive Council meeting of the association in Calabar, in Cross River State, the resident doctors demanded their immediate enrollment on the IPPIS platform without further delay. It has taken 3 months for the threat to materialize. In 2016, the resident doctors embarked on a warning strike to alert the federal government to their grievances on issues relating to their welfare and conditions of service. They later embarked on an indefinite strike which crippled services in most teaching hospitals. Patients who were already on admission in some of these health facilities were reportedly either abandoned or forcefully discharged. The leadership of NARD suspended that strike after a meeting with other health sector stakeholders to recall the action if the federal government fails in its promise to attend to the union's issues. This is the second time the doctors would be embarking on an industrial action since the administration of the All Progressives Congress, led by President Muhammadu Buhari. The doctors' demand include that all heads of tertiary health institutions who have received funding for the payment of resident doctors in their establishments should be directed to pay same immediately. A resolution of persistent shortfalls and unpaid arrears of salaries. Enrollment into the Integrated Personal Payroll Information System, IPPIS, among other issues. This is an agitation that has persisted over time. Dialogue after dialogue have only put the strike on pause. September 4, doctors at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital in Edo State, South Nigeria, withdraw its services to patients in compliance with the strike called by the National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD. It is the same situation in neighboring Asaba in Delta State. Resident doctors at the Federal Medical Center fully comply with the directive of the national body. But the chief medical director of the hospital says medical activities are still going on despite the strike.
Well, if not for the public holiday, the hospital should be busier than it is right now because all the paramedics and the consultants are on ground and they're seeing their patients. So by tomorrow, hospitals should be running to an appreciable extent.
Members of the Doctors Association in Kwara State joined the strike, insisting that they cannot allow the federal government to continue cheating them. In a meeting with members of the union, the chairman of the chapter, Dr. Alexander Ige, notes that all the issues tabled before the federal government desire an immediate action, especially the review of the implementation of the no work, no pay policy.
As a branch of NAD and as resident doctors in Nigeria, we are being heated by most of the things that NAD is agitating for. Now, when you talk about no work, no pay, we've been victims of such. If you talk about fractions of salary, we've been victims from January 2014. If you talk about non-implementation of new house officer entry level, we are victims. Our house officer, they collect the lowest salary among doctors in Nigeria. Now, when you talk about non-enrollment to IPs, we are being heated by it again. In fact, we didn't collect June salary up to like the end of July just because we are on give miss. And we've been shouting, we've been asking, we have done so many things just for us to be taken back to the IPs platform, which is now clear to us is the only platform that the federal government recognized as the authentic platform to pay personnel. But it's unfortunate we are on a platform that is easy and very easy for the management to decide who to pay and what to pay them.
In the northern region of the country and in Kaduna, nurses and consultants render skeletal services to patients. At the National Eye Center, Kaduna, nurses, laboratory scientists, pharmacists, and some other health workers go about their duties, but only a few patients are seen in the various wards and waiting rooms. This is unusual, as this complex witnesses a heavy influx of patients across the country to the specialist hospital before the strike. The medical director of the hospital, Dr. Al-Hassan Mahmood, says adequate arrangement has been made to ensure that consultants and nurses attend to emergency situations while the strike lasts.
We have our own alternative plans to deliver emergency services and attend to people who come to seek our services, and hoping the negotiations will go on and able to get resolved as quickly as possible. We attend to emergencies and anybody who come in, so long as